Hi friends, welcome back. I'm happy to have you here. Today's vlog is a weird one. I'm going in not really knowing what I want my week to look like. It's Friday, and usually I don't start my vlogs until the beginning of the next week, but I just kind of feel like talking. I have been trying to work myself up to talking on camera. Sometimes if I stop talking to the camera, and when I stop, I'm in like a bad place mentally, it's very hard for me to pick the camera back up, and I have to talk myself into it. It's not that filming is something that I dread doing, because I do love filming. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing this for as long as I have been if that wasn't the case. Sometimes it's just hard. I want to get back into the habit. I want to get into the habit of filming multiple videos at once. That's one of my goals. I want to get back to posting multiple videos a week. If you were around last year, you'll know that last year was a very exploratory year for me and my content and my creator mindset. I'm still kind of figuring it out. Last year was really hard for a lot of reasons, and it's carried over into this new year. I alluded to this in my last vlog. Started therapy recently. It was like the end of last year. And we have really been getting into the weeds of a lot of stuff. And with therapy and unpacking traumas and things, it goes beyond just getting a diagnosis and getting some coping techniques. And it gets into unpacking those things. And when you're doing that, it leaves you feeling very vulnerable and almost at your capacity emotionally. And that's sort of where I have been really over the last couple of months. We went to every week therapy sessions, and while it's been good and I was the one that asked to do every week, I am very glad that we went to every week. I love my therapist and I love the work that we're doing. I'm just now starting to get to a point where I don't constantly feel like the world is going to end over one minor thing, and it's been hard. I do feel like I'm healing a little bit, and I feel like my capacity is increasing, but my work is not done. And I know that I'm going to have hard days, and I know that with my diagnoses that I'm going to have bad days for the rest of my life. And sometimes that feels very daunting, and sometimes that feels like something I can accept. It's just really hard when you're trying to do better and you're trying to just kind of get to a level that you can just function like other people, and you feel like you get to that level and then you fall down again. Not only are you dealing emotionally with falling down, but then you're dealing with letting yourself down and disappointing yourself that you couldn't be stronger, or whatever negative self-talk you tell yourself when you're in a depressive episode. Like I said, I'm very happy that I'm doing the work that I'm doing, but sometimes it feels like too much. I didn't want to really be on camera or have to express those feelings. You'll notice that the last couple of vlogs that I've done have been reading vlogs, and there's really a reason for that. I was doing booktube content for so long that it felt comfortable, and even though that sort of content all the time doesn't really fulfill me, I knew that it would be a comfortable space for me to be in. It would be a soothing space. It would be something that I could fall back into and continue, and it in a way helped me to still create, but it also allowed me to explore some things that I have shoved down of my own creative side, of trying to keep myself from niching down and becoming a booktube channel again, and all of the fears and things that are involved in that. And I'm getting to a point where I will be able to have multiple videos at a time coming out and feel comfortable knowing that some videos aren't going to hit, some videos are going to hit differently for different people. People are going to find my videos through a book video, and that doesn't mean that they only care about the books. That just is the avenue that they found me through, and I'm kind of hoping that that mindset is what I can take through creating, because I would like to get back to making book content, something that I realized having had filmed those 2 videos, I got a little bit of spark back because I was talking about something that I love. I think I've avoided talking about reading, which is the biggest hobby in my life. I've avoided talking about that for fear of what it means for my content. And I don't think I have that fear anymore because I realized how cathartic those videos were for me and how much I enjoyed doing them. I don't want to make any promises, but I'm hoping to have a Sunday and a Wednesday video, and the Wednesday video is going to be like hobby videos, so reading, vlogs, talking about media, maybe wrap-ups, things like that, like hobby related videos. I want to do something eventually on crocheting and felting and sketchbooking and gardening eventually. And then Sundays, I think, are going to be my weekly vlogs or my more emotional vlogs where I'm tackling something with my PMDD or my autism or something like that. Like I said, I can't guarantee that, but I have been planning those into my schedule. It's just actually about executing them and not being disappointed in myself when it doesn't work out. One of the things that I wanted to film this weekend, and I know I'm beating myself up, but it's literally Friday and I have 2 more days of the weekend, but something that I wanted to film was a year after my PMDD diagnosis video, which is going to be like a sit-down video, and I talk about the year and what I've learned through the year since my diagnosis and like how I'm coping and all of that. And I wanted to film that today. I told myself that I was going to film that today, and it's hard for my brain to not beat myself up for that. So that's kind of where I was last week as far as mentally. I really liked the video that I put out last week. I really like B-roll heavy, more silent film style media. That's the content that I tend to consume. So I enjoyed making it. And when I originally transitioned from a book channel to a more lifestyle channel, I relied really heavily on that sort of format. And so it was good. I enjoyed it, and I improved my editing and my creativity in that way. And now I am going to try this format where I'm going to be very chatty and I'm going to see how I feel. I like long videos, and I like certain people that are very rambly and they talk a lot, but I tend to gravitate towards and put the like comfort creator label on those more like stylistic B-roll sort of videos. That's just in a side tangent that I don't really know if you care about, but so that's kind of where we're going with this. Now let's talk about what I'm currently reading, because as I said, reading is always a massive hobby for me. It is my biggest hobby. I started The Bone Shard Daughter a couple of days ago, I believe. I am 115 pages in. This is an adult fantasy, and it follows multiple points of view, one of them being the Emperor's daughter. The Emperor and her have bone magic, and I haven't quite gathered all of the backstory and all of the like magic going on in the story, but so the Emperor demands a tithe from every person in his empire. He is the emperor over a bunch of different islands. They are kind of subservient to him, and he demands that at the age of 9, they give him a shard from behind their ear of their bone. And he's able to use that bone shard. They're called constructs, and I don't know quite the make of them. I think they're different. Like some are like spies, so they're like squirrels or things like that. And then some might just be stereotypical robot looking creatures. I know one was like a tiger or a panther. So he does that. And then he has his daughter who also, I think, has powers, but her past is like really unknown. It seems like something really traumatic in her childhood happened, and she has lost a lot of her memories. And so her father doesn't want her to take over as emperor because she is broken and doesn't have these memories. Honestly, I thought about DNFing this because it doesn't have the strongest start, and I've been struggling to read a little bit recently, but I pushed through it, and I am enjoying it. That being said, I usually will keep an ebook that I read whenever I don't feel like reading a physical book, or if it's like nighttime and I want to read on my Kindle or whatever. So I am currently reading When the Moon Hatched. I have been going through fantasy romances on Kindle Unlimited, and I've been starting them and then returning them, like not finishing them, either because I couldn't get into it or they had bad reviews. One of my friends on Goodreads gave it 5 stars. She is a notoriously picky writer, notoriously picky for 5 stars, and we have very similar taste. So I saw that and immediately was like, oh, I'm probably really gonna like this. So I don't quite know what it is. The prologue was talking about gods and like the setup of the gods in this world, but I don't actually know what the main story is about. I'm also listening to the audiobook for Queen of Shadows, which is some number of way through the Throne of Glass series. I'm slowly rereading the Throne of Glass series with my stepsister, and then I'm going to reread the Crescent City series to read the third one, which I'm very scared of. I'm very nervous. I really like the Crescent City series. It's not everybody's favorite, and arguably, objectively, it's not her best, but I, for some reason, really enjoy it. The first one, I will admit, is not that good. It's very slow. It's very not well structured, but the second one, it hits different, and I'm excited for the third one. So I am working on redecorating our living room, our bedroom, and our kitchen. So basically our whole house except both of our offices. But I'm starting with the living room. Pretty like inexpensive things, just things to like brighten up the room. I don't really show my living room all that much in videos, but basically I used to have movie posters on the wall, and I had like all my stuffed animals and stuff, but the room is very small, so it's hard to keep it very light and airy, especially because our furniture is quite dark. Like we have a dark couch, our coffee table is dark, and then we have like a plant stand that's also dark, and then we have our washer and dryer. There's 2 windows. The TV blocks one of them. Where I live has such varying temperatures, either really hot or really cold, so I have to like keep the blinds closed a lot. So it just can feel very dark and small in here, and so there are some changes that I wanted to make. I put this painting, used to be above our bed, and I moved it to right there. I got this new pillow cover, and then I also, 2 new pillow covers just came in. And then I got a mirror to go on that wall to hopefully, it's a small mirror, so it's not going to be too drastic, but I'm hoping that it'll make a little bit of a difference. It'll make it seem a little bit bigger, and then we can go from there. So it stopped recording. There's the mirror. And then I did end up putting the mirror here. I like it better here. The problem is, as kind of mirrors are intended to do, it creates a lot of dead space right here. So I'm going to get a really thin table to put here so it's not blocking the walkway. And I'm gonna put vases and stuff on it. Sunday, friends, 2:28, and this is kind of where I've been the past couple of days. I did get some side business stuff done, so I'm not upset about my productivity level, but I have just been relaxing. This is my second cup of coffee of the day. This is the mug that I got from the Fairy Loot box. It's super cute, but it is a little bit smaller than my usual cup of coffee, so I'm having my second cup. Not that I would not have a second cup if the cup wasn't so small. I did side business stuff for a couple hours yesterday and then a couple hours this morning, but mostly I have just been watching GTA RP. I've spoken about it on my channel previously, but essentially the video game Grand Theft Auto has a role-playing server where people can be whoever they want to be, and they stream it on Twitch. So I have been watching a lot of that. I reorganized my bookshelves. I just decided to go back to the rainbow. I go back and forth often of how I'm gonna redecorate my shelves, or how I'm gonna decorate my shelves rather. And I think rainbow just looks the best for my shelves. I see people that have like these grand bookcases that are separated by genre and all that, and it looks so good, but there's something about the like orientation of my books, or the books that I have, that just rainbow works the best. I think it's because I have so many books that are black or white that it just makes the colors pop very well, and my shelves are also kind of a different color than the kind of typical white. And then other than that, I've just been watching that, just been watching RP, and I've been trying to read. So I read a little bit more of the Bone Shard Daughter. I am now 194 pages in, and I'm still very ambivalent towards it. I don't really have many thoughts. I'm not really sucked into the story. If you were to take this book away from me right now, I wouldn't particularly care. And I considered picking up an audiobook for it, which is usually the telltale sign to me that I'm not loving a book. It could just be kind of my reading mood, because I also picked up The Bladed Faith. The Bladed Faith, my unread books are right here. And I read a couple pages and I couldn't get into it, and then I started this independently published middle grade horror that I couldn't get into, that I bought at that festival that I went to the weekend before. Then I started The Fox and the Dragon, which is another book that I got at that festival and got 7 pages in, couldn't get into it. And I started Forever Avalon, which is a King Arthur book, and I got through the prologue and I really wasn't gripped. And then I decided that I needed to read something fun and fast, and so I put aside the When the Moon Hatched, just because I know the writing is a little bit more intense than I'm really looking for right now. So I tried to pick up A Taste of Golden Iron, which is a library book that I got. It's an fantasy romance. Even the writing for that was a little bit too much in the moment. So I decided to pick up A King of Battle and Blood. I have read another book by this author before. I believe it was A Touch of Darkness, which is the Hades and Persephone. I gave it 3 stars. I can't even remember anything about it. But this one is the first book in a vampire romance, and I know that her writing is like very quick and easy to get through, so I picked it up. I'm just getting into it, so we'll see how I'm feeling. I find myself alternating between trying to force myself to read and also saying like I should be able to read or do what I want. If I want to just veg out and watch RP, like I should be able to do that. Reading is a hobby. It's not my job. It's not making me money. But I just have this bad habit whenever my partner works the weekends of just laying in one spot and not doing really much of anything. And I'm trying not to assign a moral stance on that of the being in bed and not really doing much, because like it's my life, I guess, and there's no wrong way to live it. I'm not harming anybody, and if that's what I want to do, then that's what I'm gonna do. But try telling my brain that. Right now and for the rest of the evening, I'm probably gonna alternate between reading and watching RP. Want to read is the thing, and that's the thing that's kind of irritating me, is I want to read. I want to get into a book and just like get sucked in and be just in it. And I think another thing that's really overwhelming me is all of my unread books. Like I have a whole stack next to my spot on the bed because I want to just be able to see them and also to just like reach over. And I think having them there is really making me feel overwhelmed, when my goal for the year was to get through them. So like I don't have to get through them now to move on to like the books that I necessarily want to read. There are moods where all I want to do is read on my Kindle. If you're a Kindle reader, then you understand where I'm coming from. There's something just so crisp and nice about reading from your Kindle. Just like it's so comfortable. It feels like you fly through the book. It's just a different experience, and sometimes you just want to read from your Kindle. There's nothing stopping me from picking up the Kindle Unlimited romances that I have, or the Kindle Unlimited fantasy romances that I have. Like there's nothing that's stopping me from doing that except myself. There's nothing that's forcing me to read the books that I own physically except myself, and so it's just a weird feeling. I want to read fantasy romance on my Kindle. I want to read something fun. All of that is to say that I think I'm just going to mood read and not try to read the books that I own, like physically. And also the other thing with that is I own a lot of high fantasies, and I have to be in the mood for high fantasy. And the thing with high fantasies is like most of them, unless it's like the Lies of Lockamora or books like that, the writing tends to be very world heavy at first. Like it's things that you have to get into and you have to get settled in with the characters. And like for example, the Boneshare daughter, there's a lot of points of view, and so we're just still getting settled into the characters and like establishing dynamics and storylines. We're not even into like them doing the things that they're going to do in the story or in the series. That's my way of saying that to myself, that I want to watch RP if I want to, and I want to read when I want to. I have done all the stuff that I need to do for the week. Like I have done my side business stuff for the week, and I won't have new work for that until next week. So like, what am I stressing myself out over? I couldn't tell you. I do have some chores and stuff I need to do. Like I need to do some laundry and I need to get some dishes done, but I need to just chill. These are just like the cycles of that's just how my brain just like cycles all the time, simultaneously telling me to rest and also telling me that I'm not doing enough, which is just wild. That like not doing enough thing is such a wild mentality to have, and so like counterproductive for the way that we're supposed to work. Like we have been conditioned to be workaholics, and it's just not realistic for a sustainable long life. We're forced into this mentality of like, I have to do everything now, when you have your whole life, like you have years to build whatever sort of life you want, years to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. It doesn't have to happen right now. And I'm getting philosophical about something as simple as not reading. That's been enough rambling. When I said that this was going to be a chatty vlog, I meant it's going to be a chatty vlog. So I thought we could do my skincare together. I'm sorry if the lighting is really bad. I can't turn the fan on until I start doing my face because you can't hear what I'm saying. I don't really use like a particular brand that I like, or I don't have like recommendations, because I kind of just use what I've been gifted or what I've seen. The first thing that I use is this hyaluronic acid every morning and night. And when I say I use this, I mean I don't do skincare regularly. It's what I'm supposed to be using. And I use this vitamin C serum. As far as I know, this is just supposed to go on acne, like areas that you're affected by acne. Then I have this. And then I have eye cream, a night moisturizer. This has retinol in it, so it burns my face, but I'm trying to like get my skin used to retinol. That's what I've read, like if retinol burns your face but you continue to use it, it'll get over it. The day cream from Meaningful Beauty. All the Meaningful Beauty ones I got from my mom. So it is Monday night. My partner is off doing some stuff, hanging out at the local comic book store. So I have the house to myself for a couple hours. I'm waiting for my food to cool off, and I thought we could talk about what I'm currently reading. So I am about 56-ish% of the way through King of Battle and Blood, or whatever it's called. This is basically a fantasy romance about a girl who is the princess of a kingdom, and she offers herself to a vampire king conqueror who is trying to take over their whole continent. He basically tells her father, like, I will not slaughter all of you if you offer her as a bride. Father, of course, is like, no, like, that's my daughter, I'm not gonna do that. But she says that she will. So they get married, and the majority of this has been them traveling. So it's a lot of sex. I usually will read like the first sex scene and then I'll skip the rest, especially if it starts early on. That's like one of my pet peeves in romance. I prefer a slower burn. I went in knowing that St. Clair, is that whoever it is. I went in having already read a book by her that I didn't like. Well, that was okay, but that was very sex heavy, that I wasn't a fan of for that reason. But I went in knowing that that was kind of the case. Just the way that people talk about this book, I knew that it was just one of those like romance first, specifically sex first, and then romance, and then fantasy. I am fine with romance first and then fantasy. That's perfectly okay with me. I like regular romance, but I do not like sex first and then romance. I prefer a little bit of a slow burn, just because I think early sex scenes break a lot of the tension in the relationship. Anyways, I went in kind of knowing that that probably was going to be the case. I went in knowing that her books tend to be sex heavy, but I wanted something quick and fast paced. That being said, I've skipped a lot of sex scenes. I don't really understand what the point of the story is, like what the plot is going to be, or anything like that. He seems to be the big bad. Obviously, we're gonna find out that like there's some history with their continents and the vampires and all that that we don't know about, that the heroine doesn't know about. But at the moment, I don't quite know what I'm in store for. Like, I am 220 pages in. The story is 392 pages. And I don't know like what, I'm assuming something is gonna happen, a greater villain's gonna happen, something of conflict is gonna happen, she's gonna get stolen or something like that. But I don't really know what the whole series is about. I honestly considered DNFing the story at 48%, but I decided to stick it out. I've been DNFing too many books, and who knows, I might end up liking this book. It's fast, it's easy to read, it doesn't have like a bunch of complex new big ideas that I have to parse through. So like, it's not an unenjoyable reading experience. I just know it's not going to be a favorite, and there's large portions of the story that I don't read. So it's kind of balancing, like, it's fun, it's doing exactly what I wanted it to do when I picked it up, but now I don't need that fast-pacedness anymore. Do I stick it out because I think I might still enjoy it, might be still a 3-star, or do I stop reading and try to pick something else up? To that end, I tried to pick up other things after I DNF'd it, and I couldn't get into anything. So this seems to be the only thing that's like catching or keeping my attention. So I'm gonna keep reading it. Tomorrow I have an early doctor's appointment, and then the rest of the day I need to grocery shop, and I'm planning to film some videos. So I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to read, but I would like to stay up late-ish tonight. It's almost 6 now, so I want to stay up at least till like 10:30, 11. Hopefully I can finish the book by then. We'll see. But I'm gonna go eat my dinner. It doesn't look that appetizing, but it is like a Chipotle salmon leek situation. I'm gonna go eat that. I'm gonna watch RP, and then I'm gonna read for the remainder of the night. Fingers crossed. Hi friends, happy Wednesday. I am back at work today. Yesterday I did a lot of filming, a lot of editing, got some videos ready to post and stuff. I had that early doctor's appointment. So why are we at an angle? Whatever. So I didn't do a lot of reading, but I was doing like actual work, side business stuff, stuff for YouTube, stuff like that. So it was kind of a busy day, but it wasn't too bad. I ended up finishing King of Battle and Blood. Not yesterday, but the day before, like that night that I said I was gonna stay up a little bit late. I finished it around like 8:30, and then I stayed up later and read When the Moon Hatched. But we'll talk about King of Battle and Blood. It was a 3-star as I anticipated, and it was fine. The ending, it didn't really make a lot of sense what happened. I feel like was out of character for some characters. I think it's just set up for some like emotional turmoil and also some like power dynamics later in the series. Not that I'm gonna be reading this series. And then I did end up getting 157 pages, which is 22% of the way through When the Moon Hatched. This is a pretty interesting story. It's 700 pages to begin with, so like I haven't even started to get into the story. I think her name is Rave. I think that's how it's pronounced. She seems to be like a gnoll, which I don't really know what that is. But the setup for the world is that there were gods. They created everything, including dragons. There are still dragons. When dragons die, they like shrivel up in the sky, turn to stone, and then make moons. Humans have, or I think they're fae. I don't know if they're humans or not. They have magical abilities, and it's directly connected to the gods and goddesses that are now asleep I believe, or dead or whatever, trapped, imprisoned. I don't know, I don't remember. I think they were imprisoned. She has the ability to commune with the wind goddess, and she works for this like rebel organization. Her job is to like kill people. She was hired on by this woman who saved her when she was young from the streets, I guess. And she works for this rebel organization trying to bring down people that work for the king, because the king is very corrupt. She brings in bad guys. So in the beginning of the story, she kills a rapist and throws him off a cliff. And then we also have another point of view. I think his name's Cain. I could be incorrect, I don't remember exactly, but we don't know what his backstory is. We've only had one point of view. I believe the heroine has met him, but I don't really know. They had minimal interaction, and I don't know what his story is. They alluded to a lost prince, so that probably is going to be him. This is definitely one of those stories that you just get thrown into the middle of the world and you don't really get much explanation. So I'm kind of learning as I'm going. As I said, this is a 700-page book, so I imagine I'm gonna learn a lot. But it's pretty quick so far. We just had the death of one of her friends that has sent her on like a revenge spiral. So I imagine at some point maybe she's gonna get a dragon or something like that. At this point, she's down bad and just trying to find out who killed her friend. So I'm liking it. It's very good, very fun. Not fun. It's very good. The writing is very, I don't want to say it's flowery. It's nice, it's sophisticated, but it's not fun. Like it's quite dark. It's pretty emotional. It's not fun in the way that King of Battle and Blood is fun, but it's fun in that it's a good story. So I need to finish eating my breakfast, and then I need to go to work, and then after work I need to go grocery shopping because I didn't do that yesterday. And then when I come home, I need to read for this other video that I'm filming right now. So we'll end up talking later, probably. Hi friends, if I charge half my mortgage for a course on a topic that I know nothing about, would you guys buy it so that I can quit my job? Let me know down in the comments, thanks. But it is Thursday, it's like 3 o'clock. I am done for the week for work. And I'm also gonna wrap up this vlog mostly because this week has felt endlessly long, and I feel like we've gotten some good things done in this vlog. It's been a good week, but I just feel like I've been filming this video forever. So we're gonna end it here. I did not finish When the Moon Hatched, and I started reading another book that will be coming in a couple of videos, but so it was a good day, it was a good week. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe if you like videos like this, days in my life, cozy vlogs, stuff like that, book content. I do a plethora of things. All my socials are linked down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next one.